want to start out by thanking the members of our Domestic Violence Task Force for organizing and spreading the word about this event. And I want to thank Evelyn Timmis of the Nicholas Lentz organization for her tireless efforts to turn Times Square purple. Let's give up some applause tonight. Also, I want to thank our partners, the Times Square Advertising Coalition, and its members as well as the wonderful Broadway Association for making this event possible. They really, really did a great job. Look at what we're seeing here tonight. Now, I'm also happy to partner once again with the New York State Office for the Prevention of Domestic Violence on the Shine the Light on Domestic Violence campaign, and you're going to hear from the director shortly. I'm also happy to be joined by somebody who is on the front lines of the domestic violence struggle every single day in Manhattan, and that is our District Attorney, Cyrus Vance. Please give him a round of applause. Now, as many of you know, this is an issue that too often stays behind closed doors. But tonight, we're bringing it front and center to remove the shame and remove the stigma. The lights behind me are all lit purple, the official color of this cause, to raise awareness about this problem in one of the most visible places in the world, the most visible place on the planet, Times Square. Now, domestic violence can affect anyone regardless of race, background, sexual orientation, or socioeconomic status. 1 in 4 women will experience it in her lifetime. Almost half the women murdered in our state are killed by their intimate partner. The number one fact is most cases are never reported. So by being out here with Shine the Light, we are making it very clear to people to come forward, to join us. Let's remove the stigma. Let's join together as one city and make sure that we protect people, because that is what is so important about this campaign. And by all of you being here tonight, you show your support for relatives, for friends, for fellow New Yorkers who are in peril every single day. But we have a support system like none other. And that's what tonight is all about. So if you believe that this issue needs to have a light shown on it, then let's say that tonight. Do you agree?
Yeah!
Do you really agree?
Yeah!
Well, I know you do, and I'm so proud to be working with so many organizations who are represented here tonight. Now, to start off some of the remarks, I'd like to call upon our great Manhattan District Attorney, somebody who believes in prosecution as well as education and prevention, and that's the magic combination to me. Please welcome District Attorney Cy Vance.
Thank you, Scott. Good evening, everybody. And I am thrilled to be here with my wife, Peggy, to participate in tonight's event. Last week in our courthouse, a Department of Education official was sentenced to 25 years for a domestic violence, extremely violent offense that occurred after he was sentenced after trial. And it was a tragic case. And what it reminded me, as it reminds all of us, is that notwithstanding the fact that we live in the safest big city in America, overall in terms of violent crime, we have to ask ourselves this question: what good is it to be living in the safest big city in America if you're not in fact safer in your home? Every year in our office, we have had thousands of cases involving domestic violence. This trend has not declined. It is therefore our primary obligation to make sure we do everything we can to reach lower numbers of domestic violence offenses. And so that is what my mission is in the DA's office. I'm joined here by literally 20 of our office staff who've come down here tonight, the Special Victims Bureau and the Witness Aid Services Unit. I want to give them a shout out. I want to thank all the advocates and service providers who do so much work every day on behalf of this issue, and many of them are in the audience today, and thank you for all you do. And I want to tell you two things, though, that I think we can do, and this office intends to do in terms of combating domestic violence going forward. Number one, we need stronger legislation. for repeat domestic violence offenders, individuals who have previously committed a misdemeanor domestic violence offense. The second time that they commit a domestic violence offense, we need to be able to treat that second offense as a felony. Why? To give the judge more tools, longer periods of order of protection, longer probation, to make sure that repeat offenders don't end up committing a homicide. And so that's number one, is legislative changes. And number two is to work with our borough president, the mayor, the city, to open a family justice center in Manhattan, which thanks in large part to the borough president's leadership, we open to have in 2012. So ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for all you're doing. I want to turn this over now to Amy, but just to assure you that in our office, domestic violence is among our highest priorities and will continue to be. And I thank all the courageous victims for what they've gone through and for guiding us and making sure that we keep doing our job going forward. Thank you.
Thank you. And now it's a great privilege to introduce Amy Barish, who's the Executive Director of the New York State Office for the Prevention of Domestic Violence, and I know she's representing our great governor as well. Amy, please give her a big round of applause. She does so much on this issue.
Thank you, everybody. Yes, I'm the director of the only state government agency dedicated to the issue of domestic violence in the country. So round of applause for the state of New York. We take the issue seriously. I want to thank the Manhattan Borough President, Scott Stringer. It's hard to get noticed in New York City, but if anybody can do it, he and his staff can do it. And we're doing it here in Times Square tonight, so thanks to him. And I want to thank DA Vance as well. We in the movement really need prosecutors who understand that domestic violence is a serial crime and that prosecutors need to use every evidence at their disposal to hold offenders accountable and make sure they don't do it again. So you're surrounded by incredible supports in your government system here in New York. And again, I really want to thank all the advocates and the staff who are here. This is an unbelievable turnout. Someone said before, it feels like a domestic violence provider reunion. Many of us have been working in this issue for a long time. So let's give everybody here a real round of applause for coming out on a yucky New York City night. This is the fourth year of our statewide Shine the Light on Domestic Violence campaign. From Western New York, where Niagara Falls turned purple, to the state capitol, where the SUNY, the State University Plaza turned purple, to the Mid-Hudson Bridge near Poughkeepsie. All of these places across the state are turning purple in the month of October. And the goal of the campaign is to take advantage of all the work that you, the advocates, do, raising awareness in the month of October, and connect all of you together so that your voices, individual voices together, can be made louder by connecting you across the state. We plan to turn the entire state purple this year. In our third year last year, we had 52 counties. How many people here in New York City know how many counties there are in the state of New York? There are more than the 5 boroughs of New York, believe it or not. I'm from New York City, I had to learn that one. We have 62 counties. All 62 counties are going to go purple this year. Are you with me? Are we going to get to 62? And why do we have to raise awareness about domestic violence? We need to raise awareness because this is an incredibly common problem. Over the past 3 years, we've seen a 30% increase in the number of orders of protection issued out of our courts on the issue of domestic violence. Our police respond to almost 500,000 calls every year on domestic violence. And as the borough president said, that's an undercount because most domestic violence does not get reported. Over a third of our child welfare cases involve domestic violence. And the #1 cause of intentional death of women in the state of New York is death by intimate partner. So this is an issue we need to raise awareness on because of its prevalence. It's very common. It can happen to anybody. And we also need to raise awareness because anybody can do something about it. Those of us in government work hard to make sure that the systems that all people can access are responsive to what their needs are. But anybody, it doesn't have to be a government worker, can do something. If you have a friend who you think is in trouble, you can listen to them, talk to them, don't judge them. Let them know in New York City they can call 311 at any time, 24/7, to get an educated advocate. If you have a friend who's treating their partner in a way that you think isn't safe and isn't respectful, let them know what you think. Most abusers think that their behavior is normal and that their friends will support them. It's very effective if you let them know that actually you don't support their behavior. If you're an employer, you can do a domestic violence in the workplace policy, as all the state agencies have done, so that people know that they can go to their employer to get safe, to change their work hours maybe if they're being stalked, or to do other things to make sure that they can stay employed and stay safe. Everybody can do something to keep people safe so that I don't have to be up here next year reciting these same statistics about the